What myth is still widely circulated as truth? Something about touching baby birds and their parents abandoning them due to the smell of human touch. Edit. After reading through several replies, perhaps there is some truth to this based on the animal. One time my son came home smelling like a bird and I told him to get the hell out and never come back. Nobody wants a chicken ducker for a son. Sure, you duck one chicken and all of a sudden you're a chicken fucker. Look, I swear it was just morbid curiosity, I don't actually want to fuck chickens all that often. Sure, it might just be one chicken. But you haven't stopped ducking it for months? You're not my real dad. Oh my god. My real dad is a rooster, isn't it? You got cluck-colded. That we only use 10% of our brain. Edit. Thanks for the awards, all my first, and the upvotes. Subtract 10 from how many I have and that's the most I've ever gotten on a comment. My cousin had a roommate who thought this and tried to use 100% of his brain to run through a wall. Yes, some people do use 10% of their brain. And now that guy used 100% of his brain. What's left of it, anyways? That you can reduce fat from a particular body part. Organic crops don't use pesticides or herbicides. Can you expand upon this? Curse Jessic, this video is really good. Edit. Wow, thank you for all the awards everyone, I was not expecting this. Knuckle cracking doesn't lead to arthritis, it's just an old wives' tale people use in place of simply telling you it's annoying them. Crack away. Gum takes 7 years to digest. That Marilyn Manson removed 2 of his ribs to blow himself. I will never understand how this one traveled around the world before widespread use of the internet for stuff like this. Some of the other ones, sure, they were stuff that sounded medical or scientific, were circulated by papers or magazines. But this one somehow circulated in places that may have never even known who Marilyn Manson was. It's weird how I heard this in Malaysia 16 to 20 years ago. It's the same thing going on with the drawing of this thingy, it was everywhere around the world. Also children's games, rhymes, etc. I have this book, The Lore and Language of School Children, where they trace the origins and spread of things like the little rhymes kids use to decide who's it in hide and go seek. Some had been around for literally thousands of years and a new rhyme would pop up in one state and spread across the country in a matter of months and eventually the entire world. It was published in 1959, too, so they spread mostly or entirely through word of mouth, kids sharing them when they visited family or moved to a new town school and older kids teaching them to their siblings. Really cool stuff. Like it's crazy to think that when I was a kid in the 90s, I was playing the same games as kids in medieval England or ancient Rome. Plus my little niece knows most of the games and rhymes I do, and she learned most of them from other kids, not an adult or any form of mass media. 30 years later, they're still going strong. Scientists don't know how bees fly. Scientists discover bees aren't airplanes or birds. Undercover police have to tell you they are policemen when you ask them. Breaking Bad has a great scene where an undercover cop tricks a guy into selling him drugs using this myth. I thought we were going to hang out. Poor Badger. The new guy really did him like that. Bulls hate red. They are actually color blind and are reacting to the movement of the cloth and the asshole behind it. You also gotta keep in mind those bulls are poorly treated and usually given some kind of stimulants. Bulls on our ranch are actually quite friendly as long as it's not breeding season. Can confirm. I once had a bull knock me over and stand above me because he wanted chest scratches. He was a big baby that wanted what he wanted, when he wanted it. Edit. Did not expect this to blow up. I am at work and can't do detailed responses or additional stories at this time. Sorry. See below for the tale of Blue, my guard goat. Based on this, seems like bulls are still figuring out what consent is. This is accurate. We had numerous issues with this bull, all related to how much he enjoyed physical attention like scratches. He was also fully aware that he could overpower any human, so if you were in his pen and not scratching him, you were gonna be real soon. Wonder how he'd react to someone he couldn't overpower. Although there's probably not a real person out there who could overpower a strong bull. I once saw him spend a few hours trying to take down a tree that was in his way, so I assume it'd be like that. The first comment was the best, but I'm glad I continued reading the thread because this is hilarious lol. Catherine the Great died after attempting to have sex with a horse. This myth was started by the French. And then they ask why everyone believes Napoleon was a tiny man. Napoleon being small was a myth started by the British. He wasn't actually short for his time if I remember correctly, he was a bit above average in terms of height. It's true. He was roughly 57, which was very above average for the time. Edit, I would like to clarify, 57 was indeed above average for commoners. And many of you have pointed out that he was an aristocrat. But his family was not wealthy as they were only minor nobility. As a child his family likely didn't have the means to be able to provide the proper nutrition in order for him to be on par height-wise with other aristocrats. Also, his guard had to be over 6, so he was always around people taller than him. Also, when he was sized up after his death by the doctor on the island, he was sized up with French inches AMD feet, which are slightly bigger than imperial inches and feet. I'm concerned that this entire thread is widely circulated myth because it's like every lunchroom table, dorm kitchen, and bar top conversation about Napoleon goes exactly like this. Imagine waging a war against Europe, changing European society, and you're more remembered for being a shorty. I was adamantly told by some seniors at work not to drink the water that boiled twice because it cooks the oxygen out of it. What is with seniors and water that's been boiled twice? My grandmother used to say that it would make the water radioactive. I still can't wrap my head around the fact that a woman that had been a chemist her entire working life believed this. Though I've heard others who grew up in the Soviet Union, like my grandmother, echo this, so perhaps it's some silly propaganda that stuck. I would love it if it turned out that it started as propaganda to reduce power consumption by the populace. If an HIV-positive person has sex with another HIV-positive person, they don't have to worry about protection. They do, because there are 140 different strains of the HIV/AIDS virus, and getting infected with another strain, especially a potentially deadlier one, could be dangerous. Also, pregnancy is still a very big risk for HIV-positive women. If you are considering a sexual relationship, get tested, and talk to your doctor about birth control. That the tongue has different regions for salty, sweet, bitter, and sour. Why were we ever taught that? Damn you, MS Frizzle. She also is responsible for Arnold's death. And also the kids getting jizzed on by salmon. Edit, sorry for ruining everyone's childhood lol. I don't recall seeing this one on PBS as a kid, but the episode is on Netflix, and I was like WTF watching it with my kids. Daddy long legs are actually the most poisonous spiders in the world but don't have long enough fangs to bite you. That people in the Middle Ages only lived to 40 or something. There was a lot of child dead, thus lowering the average age. Living till 60-70 years old wasn't strange. It was definitely more common to die early because of lack of medical care, but yeah, it's not like people dropped of old age at 40 or 50. Your blood is blue when not oxygenated. Edit, thank you all for my first awards. I never thought such a simple answer could have such an impact. Smile. This is one of those things that my wife knows, admits isn't true, but I think still has a really hard time believing it just because she believed it for so damn long. Every so often this topic comes up with my daughter and my wife is like, but isn't it? Oh yeah, right, it's not. And then she has this look in her eyes like truth is dead and beauty is a lie. Holding B+ down increases your chances of catching a Pokemon. Basically any schoolyard Pokemon rumor. I wasted so many hours scouring the Seafoam Cavern looking for that stupid mist stone. If you beat the Elite Four 13 times in a row without doing anything else in between, a secret door will open up. Or if you beat the Elite Four with every Pokemon, you'll somehow evolve Dragonite into Yoshi. Ducking April Fool's issue. Or how if you release your starter and go through the entire game with a Rattata and reach Elite Four in post-game. Catch Mewtwo with a Pokeball on your first try and you unlock Mew, which you will have to go to X location to catch. So many variants of Mew rumors back then, didn't help that missing number, phishing in statue and etc. was a thing and internet wasn't this prevalent yet. It didn't help that the missing no glitch existed. Emo, go talk to this old man, fly back to this section right after and then swim on the shoreline back and forth. Bam, missing no appears and your 6th item is multiplied.